tries to get through. He's sideways.
Oh, he hits.
Goes in the wall. 1, 2, 3 automobiles. The leaders are charging for the finish line. Down out of turn number 4 come your leaders. And at the line, the winner of the Clash is going to be Neil Bonnet.
Live from the World Center of Speed, the Daytona International Speedway, it's the Clash of '84, an event which annually gives us spectacular finishes. Hello, I'm Ken Squire. 11 drivers have qualified through the 1983 season for this, the Clash of '84, a race that pays $50,000 for just 50 miles, 20 laps of action. It's an all-star field, and 2 of the very best are sequestered in row number 4. Mike Joy is standing by with them now.
Cale Yarborough, you're the fastest driver here this week. You've been in every Busch Clash. You've never won it. How tough a race is this?
Well, it's an awful tough race. You know, we have 11 cars here today, 11 of the best cars in the world and 11 of the best drivers in the world, I guess. And it's just a matter of getting in the right place at the right time, and I hope today I'm going to be in the right place at the right time.
Good luck with it. Nothing is impossible. Last year, Neil Bonnet started dead last in a 16-car field, forged his way to the front of the last lap, and won the Busch Clash. Neil, how tough a job is that going to be today?
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, we were able to come from the rear last year and win the thing, and this old Budweiser car is running awful good. I feel like we got a good shot at him.
Coming from 8th spot will be Neil Bonnet. Now let's go to Ken Squire with the entire starting grid for today's Clash of '84.
In row 1, it's Georgia's Jody Ridley and the '79 winner, Buddy Baker. In row 2, from Ashland, Ohio, Tim Richmond, and outside from Chemung, New York, Jeff Bodine. Going to row 3, Ron Bouchard, Fitchburg, Massachusetts, and carrying the Bud Moore colors, Ricky Rudd on the outside. In row 4, the defending Daytona 500 champion, Cale Yarborough, and the defending Clash winner, Neil Bonnet. Row 5, the 1981 Clash winner, Darrell Waltrip, and from California, Joe Ruttman. And in row 6 from Corpus Christi, Texas, Terry Labonte rounds out the field. They've just started the engines for the event. With the 2-time Grand National Champion, winner of 50 races, Ned Jarrett. What an overture to our coverage next Sunday, flag to flag of the Daytona 500, Ned.
Indeed, Ken, with a total purse of $170,000 here today, makes it the richest race per mile in all of auto racing. You can rest assured that every one of those 11 drivers wants to win it because of the money and the prestige that's involved. But if they do win it, they cannot make any mistakes. The slightest miscue can put them certainly out of contention, even out of the race. You know, I can remember when I ran the whole season and couldn't win $50,000, and here we'll see it on CBS this afternoon in just 15 minutes of racing.
The strategy for the Clash, who better to speak about it than the defending Grand National Champion with Mike Joy? Here's Bobby Allison.
Bobby, what do you look for on the start?
Well, an unusual situation here, Mike. On the pole, we got Jody Ridley, who is running good, but he isn't quite where he wants to be. But right over here, we got old leadfoot Buddy Baker. I think Buddy, of course, will stand on the gas. We may have something here that helps him. Tim Richmond's deal has been sort of disappointing so far. And Bodine blew an engine qualifying, or had a battery problem. Anyway, had a problem. I think he'll run a lot faster than he looked like he'll be. And Ricky Rudd's run very good. So the outside line may move.
But right back here, Bobby, a group of cars that all qualified at 197 or better, they'll be a factor.
Well, that's true. And Bouchard handling good here is liable to head inside. These guys will head inside, I'm sure. But I don't know what Neil's going to do. He may be stuck in a hole and he may not. But, of course, these guys will have to see what happens up here, and then they'll make the run from right back here and here.
And there's a low-pressure system moving in from the west. We'll be back with all the action of the Clash of '84 right after these messages.
We're back with you live at the Daytona International Speedway. You're watching the field, 11 strong. They're going to run just 20 laps to decide $50,000 to the winner coming out of turn 4. Getting ready to address the green flag as the stock cars take over Speed Weeks '84 here at the Daytona International Speedway. Next Sunday, flag-to-flag coverage starts at noon here on CBS of the Great American Race. Pace car is in. Ned Ridley on the pole. Do you think he can stay there?
I don't think he believes he can, Ken Squire, because his car hasn't performed quite that well. The green flag is waving. We'll see right now.
Breaking into turn number 1. Standing by with us also is Richard Petty. He's down toward victory lane today. We'll get a few comments from him as the race progresses. And going to turn one, Baker, the man who ran the fastest Clash, who goes out in front briefly. He averaged 194 miles an hour when he won the race in '79. Ridley surprising on the inside.
Very surprising, Ken, as he came off a turn two. He got some help from Tim Richmond right behind him. Now Richmond pulls to the inside, makes his move.
3 wide, first 5 laps, crucial in this race. Then it will settle down to the last 3 laps. Down the inside, Tim Richmond in the red automobile going for the lead. The Ford Thunderbird of Buddy Baker on the outside.
They're feeling these automobiles out, Ken. They have not raced them in the draft. They qualified about 2 hours ago, and of course they set the cars up much different in qualified than they do to race, so it's a hit-or-miss proposition when to set them up for this race.
Neil Bonnet, who came from 15th last year, slides up into second spot. He has the 12 car. The 12 and the 11 car painted identically this season, both out of the Junior Johnson Warner Hodgson stable. And now you're seeing
Ricky Rudd on the inside and the Ford coming up. That car has been running very strong here in practice and in qualifying.
Ford has never won this race. Look at Bonnet hitch up with a draft with Buddy Baker and try to draw away.
That is definitely to their advantage when they can run that tight. As you notice down the straightaway, he was only a foot off his bumper. He drops down to the inside a little bit going into the turn. That's the perfect way to draft. Good, let him pull away.
Big surprise, Joe Ruttman on the outside moving up. Ruttman gets around. Richmond goes to third. Still trapped out back is Phil Yarborough. What a story about Yarborough we'll be telling you later. There's Baker, the man who ran the fastest Daytona 500 in history, 1980, at 177 miles per hour, who has run this race, the fastest race in history, at an average speed of 194 miles per hour, still deployed on the point.
And Ruttman is coming up very quickly, Ken. A surprise that his car, he qualified well for the Daytona 500, but not the kind of speed that he's showing right now. That means that his car is really set up well for drafting.
Ford in front, Chevrolet running second and third, Pontiac in fourth, Ford in fifth.
Baker doing a good job of staying out front. He likes that position, and apparently that car is, the air is coming off of it well for drafting here today.
3 of the 20 laps complete. This time line looks like a record pace thus far. And of course, Yarborough has established a new record for the Daytona Speedway earlier today. Let's get a comment from Richard Petty, the 7-time winner of the Daytona 500. What do you think of it thus far, Richard?
Well, so far it's a typical race right now. Everybody's just sort of jockeying around positions, sort of seeing what they can do, how their cars are handling, and how everybody else is doing. But when they get to racing up here in front, the boys behind is going to start catching up, and it's going to be a big crowd again in just a few minutes.
Indeed, that 2-car draft did not work, Ned Jarrett.
No, it did not. Even though they were in single file, Ruttman was able to pull right up on them. And when he did, of course, he brought Richmond and Rudd right back with him. So they're all bunched up again. Richmond down on the inside, though, that could hurt him.
Gang warfare, 11 strong. A crowd of better than 60,000 here on a day when we've had rain, the temperature in the 60s, winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. 4 laps have been completed of the 20 to decide $50,000 to one of these 11 competitors.
When Richmond pulled out on the inside, he was battling for third position. Now he is back in the 6th position. If you don't have a little help from another car, you can be in trouble.
Baker stays in front. That number 15 is now Ricky Rudd. That's the Bud Moore car that was driven by Dale Earnhardt. Remember Earnhardt in this race? Fined $10,000 a year ago in this event when he disobeyed the black flag. Some of that penalty was later remitted. Out of 4. Single file. Holding steady. Yarborough is beginning to show some strength now. That's not the car he ran for the pole in. He's up to 5th spot, Ned.
For the first time this year, they were able to run a different car than they qualified for the Daytona 500. Identically prepared. You can't tell them apart, but they set that car up. And also, Buddy Baker is running a different car from what he qualified, and so is Terry Labonte.
Working the 6th lap. Next week at this time, there'll be a 19-car freight train at 200 miles per hour down that back straightaway. Here comes Ricky Rudd, the Chesapeake, Virginia driver, in the number 15, the yellow and blue Ford, right down on the bottom of the track. Edges his way around cars. Still Ruttman sustaining third. Baker in front, Bonnet in second. Remember, Bonnet came from last year to win this race. Slow race because Bobby Allison crashed in it a year ago, and then we had that spectacular finish, which you saw at the top of today's program, right up to the wall, raising a little dust, was Cale Yarborough and Darrell Waltrip. Waltrip stays 6th. Yarborough running back in that 5th position, has never finished better than 3rd in the Clash, but he's been in every previous Clash. It's been running since 1979.